2. And I have my faithful partner, Mara Lynn Tugman, here.
Yes, and I would like to introduce our newly betrothed county librarian. So now she is Suzanne Manners.
That's right.
Yeah.
This is Manners.
As of, what, a couple of weeks.
That's right.
Just not very long. But congratulations.
Thank you.
We're really happy for
exciting.
you.
Yeah.
A lot of people knew it was on the schedule to be happening, but now it's for real. So
formerly Suzanne Moore, now Suzanne Manners. More manners, right? Anyway,
we're happy for you.
Thank you. I'm excited his new adventures ahead. And we always have lots of reading adventures to tell about.
That's right.
So we'll start off right away and introduce the bookish film of the month, February 1st, this Saturday. We're going to be featuring John Adams, a segment from his miniseries. You know, there's a miniseries out there about our second president, and we're just going to watch one segment. We're going to be watching part 2 about independence, and this is where he works with Congress to, I guess you call it the Continental Congress. And they're the brand new form.
Before we were a country,
founding
we were
fathers.
working on it.
Right, and he backed George Washington to become our first president. This is all like building up to revolution, wanting our independence from Britain. So John Adams is our focus because I'm going to give you the literary tie-in right now. We're watching the film, but we will later be discussing a book about the education of Henry Adams. Henry happens to be John Adams's great-grandson. Okay. Well, I watched the whole miniseries. I couldn't find a movie for Henry, so we went back a few generations to John. I watched the whole miniseries. It's fascinating, but we wanted to spotlight just one short segment here because, of course, it would take more than a day to do.
Yeah, it was on PBS, and it was very, very well received.
It's really
it's
good.
Special.
I couldn't take. It was like binge watching. Okay, so along with
and that's this Saturday.
That's this Saturday here at 1:00.
Here at the library, 1:00.
Our Keeping It Real film. John Adams probably contributed some to the education of his grandson Henry. I'm sure Henry has learned a lot from his ancestors. But also featured in that segment is a little snippet on Abigail. And I mean, she's my new hero. She was helping her children to become inoculated against smallpox. I mean, that was very brave for her to do.
Yeah.
Nobody knew about vaccines and things back then. And, she called in their physician, their local doctor of the town, Boston, Massachusetts, and they were testing it out. I mean, they were like pretty much guinea pigs, and they all survived, and it was really a terrible epidemic of smallpox in that time frame. So come out on Saturday this week, Saturday the 1st, February 1st, and see the film about John Adams. Later, if you'd like to join us, let me tell them about the Founding Fathers Rhodes Scholar visit, because that kind of relates.
When is that?
That's the 3rd.
Okay.
The following week.
Next Monday. Okay. Week from today. Well, it doesn't matter what day we're recording this, does it?
Right.
Okay. But Monday, February the 3rd, 2:00. We're signed up for this really cool program called Rhodes Scholar. They used to send people out that were experts in some area or another. But now we're tied in to where they're broadcasting. So we're doing a live stream event with an expert who's going to talk about the Founding Fathers. So if y'all have an interest in the Revolutionary time, then we'll see you at 2:00 next Monday. Monday, February the 3rd. That's right here too.
That's exciting, and I thought that was so appropriate to follow with the John Adams video.
Good timing.
And then we're trying to go chronologically, so I wanted to not jump in with Henry too soon, but he's the next on the list. The Branch Library has conversation on an author each month, a book by an author's birthday. So Henry Adams is born on February the 16th. And in honor of his birthday, we're reading his biography. This is noted as one of the top 100 nonfiction books of all time. And it's really fascinating. I'll just give you a really quick synopsis here. It says that his political ideals were shaped by two presidential ancestors. Of course, the great-grandfather, John Adams, our second president, and his grandfather, John Quincy Adams, our sixth president. This takes us through, John, I'm getting confused here. Henry, told you, was born February 16th in the year 1838.
Okay.
So it's prior to the Civil War, but he lives through and has some commentary about the times and the scene of what was going on with the Civil War and even into the First World War. So in his life, this is kind of unique. He kind of reflects on the colonial days and the Civil War times, and then into what we call the Gilded Age, the transformation of time, in his later years of life, and what he's learned from that. It is just pretty fascinating. I've been listening to it on Audible and reading out of the book and learning all kinds of cool things from studying about Henry Adams. So we'll be having a conversation on Henry in his book at the branch location, Trap Hill Branch Library, on our second Thursday, February the 13th at noon. And we'll have some sort of food to complement the story, and usually the food relates to what we've been reading. So I'll tell you the first thing that he mentions about food in this book. When he was a little child, he got a really high fever. He was in a quarantine, and he was, trying to nurse him back to health. And the first thing he remembers, I think he was mentioned here, he was 2 or 3 years old. If you can go far back in your memory and think about a sensory memory that he had, was an aunt who brought him a baked apple on a plate. And of course, I looked that up, and they're stuffed with pecans and raisins and honey all over. So we may have some baked apples here while we talk about Henry Adams. So come out and visit us at the branch. You do not have to be a regular book club member. We want to invite you to come and drop in whenever you can, whether you've read the book or not. The Reading Trap is the name of our group because we meet out in Trap Hill. But you can join us anytime. Yeah, we're moving on down the road here because the next thing that happens on the 14th, of course, actually, I'm still on the 13th.
No, you're still on the 13th.
I'm still on the 13th, which after the book club meets, check it out. The Friends of the Library are having a chocolate extravaganza, and that's over at their book sale room. It's a membership drive. It's kicking off the book sale weekend, and they're going to have a buffet of all things chocolate. And, of course, lots of good books to buy and purchase to help support the library programming.
Well, it's also Love Your Library Month, and a chocolate-covered library is not a bad idea.
No, right?
That's pretty good
I think
idea.
Chocolate goes well in February because the next day is...
Well, the next day
is Valentine's.
Yeah.
Chocolates. It's your day here in the library.
It just so happens that that's when we're going to meet with the Talking Service Book Club, because we meet on the second Fridays of the month, 10 o'clock, downstairs in the meeting room, and it's a good group. But this time I challenged them, we're going to read a whole book. It's not a very big one, but it's Soldier's Heart, which I read a long time ago, but it's a Civil War story, and the subtitle is, hold on a minute, Soldier's Heart, being the story of the enlistment and due service of the boy Charlie Goddard in the 1st Minnesota Volunteers. The reason it's fiction is because there was a Charlie Goddard, but the author, Gary Paulson, and a lot of people know about him. He's just great. He loves to take juvenile fiction and young adult fiction and take you on an adventure. So this is Charlie Goddard's adventure, and what he's done is take something as intense and important in history as the Civil War, that he has made it palatable for people that are not old enough to go enlist or even to vote yet. So what he's done is he's opened a door so that we can talk about difficult topics. And anyway, I thought the folks that come to Talking Service Book Club, and there's an age range there. There's a lot of retirees there, but a lot of the people who read these stories and these articles, they have kids of their own. They have nieces, nephews, grandkids. And this will teach us how we can talk about something like the Civil War and let people know, war is not glamorous, not by any means. And but anyway, it's just a way to open that door.
And the title, Soldier's Heart. We're talking about Valentine's Day.
And it's Valentine's Day. So I've kind of been waiting to do this one for a couple of months.
I bet you some of our young adults maybe read that before or have explored that topic in school. So even though Talking Service is targeted to our veterans, it is a group that anyone can come to.
Oh, sure. It's for everybody. If you're interested in any military topics at all, when we get done talking about what we're reading, the discussion is fantastic. Let me just tell you. I'm learning a lot every single month.
It's amazing.
It's nice.
It's a very inspiring group to come and listen and sit in on. I've enjoyed them.
Okay, what's next?
Well, your book club again.
Oh, yeah.
Now, not only are we having Valentine's Day and Love Your Library, but we're also honoring our African American History Month, Black History Month, and you have some topics to share.
Yeah. So I'll hold this up first. Every now and then, for the regular book club, I like to go and expose us to all different kinds of stuff. So I was looking for a really good topic, either by an author who was Black or about some point in history. And so back in November, we talked about a powwow, a Native American powwow that was happening in Oakland, California. Well, our youth services librarian Amber,
right?
Amber, she said, "Have you read One Crazy Summer?" I said, "That's crazy. I haven't read One Crazy Summer." It came out in 2010, and One Crazy Summer has won 4 awards. And I said, "What is that?" I mean, it looks great. It's not a very big book, but it's powerful because it is talking about Oakland, California in 1968. And a lot of upheaval.
Right.
And it was actually 3 little girls who really don't know their mother. Their mother moved out west and left them behind. And they're being raised in Brooklyn by their grandmother and their dad. But they put them on a plane and they send them to go meet Cecile, their mother. And while they're there, they go to a day camp. And the camp is sponsored by the Panthers. Black Panthers.
Black Panther Party.
And so the girls get exposed to that. They make friends with other people. And one kid whose father was on up in the organization, he gets arrested while they're there. They're only there for 4 weeks. But it seemed, the whole story, here's another difficult topic that can be talked about because there's a story about it that makes it possible to open that door too. So Delphine is 11 years old, and if you think you can't relate to an 11-year-old, let me tell you, this book you can, because this book is all about it, and you just love the characters, you love what they go through, they're learning as they go, and I won't tell you, but it's a page turner, and you can, a grown-up with a normal reading speed can get through this book in 2 sittings. Same thing with Soldier's Heart. Got extra copies of that too. So One Crazy Summer, I will read you one. Well, this one's not as good. Okay, so the little girl, she's only 4. And she says, I watched her, this is her big sister talking, I watched Fern move her crayon in small black circles, and I could hear her singing La 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 to herself. I recognized that tune. It was the La 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 part in a song that used to come on the radio when Brenda the Tabulation sang Dry Your Eyes, My Sisters and I. Imagine they sang about a mother who would leave their children. It was the only real indulgence we allowed ourselves. Now, I don't know about an 11-year-old saying indulgence, but she did. But anyway, let me skip ahead. And here's the classic line. We all have our La 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 song, the thing we do when the world isn't singing a nice tune to us. We sing our own nice tune to drown out ugly.
Yeah.
Fern and I colored and sang, but the middle Ankin girl was determined to break through our La 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 wall, and she had her own song and made sure we heard it. Your sister is a baby. Your sister is a baby.
Oh, no.
So don't let that throw you off. But these girls go through a lot in a short amount of time, and it's a way to talk about the civil rights movement with children. So if you want that kind of...
And it's realistic. That's the conversations that kids have.
Yes, yes. and then how they learn to learn about their mother. And anyway, and I've got an alternate read. This is classified as a juvenile book, which means it's usually for elementary to middle school kids, right? But now here's one that we bought not too long ago. It's called Don't Let Them Bury My Story, and it's by Viola Ford Fletcher, and they call her Mother Fletcher. As of 2023, she was 109.
Is she still living?
I don't know, and I need to look that up before we got here. But she got on everybody's radar because she talked to Congress. She had a congressional hearing about the Tulsa massacre that happened in May of 2021. She was a little girl. Her family was attacked, is all you can say to it. And this whole community of Greenwood, it's a community called Greenwood in Tulsa, Oklahoma, 2021, and they got attacked by the KKK, and they burned that community to the ground. They called it Black Wall Street.
Did that attack occur in 2021?
Yes.
Yeah,
not 2021, 1921.
Okay, well, you know what? I think it was probably 2021 when I actually first heard about it.
I know. This is the thing.
Because it was like hidden history.
It's hidden history.
So yeah, I know. I recognize.
I'm sorry about that, folks. It's 1921.
Well,
but you wouldn't think.
Going back in time 100 years ago.
Yes. And this was, decades after the Civil War ended. Mm-hmm. Decades after the Civil Rights Act had not happened yet. But she got to tell her story to Congress, and her once in her life bucket list item was to visit Africa. And these groups got together and they sent her over there, and she was treated like royalty for a while. But what's beautiful about this is in her own words. Her grandson helped her put it together. It just came out in 2023, and it's a primary resource. That's a first-hand account, and you can fly through this book too, and you'd be amazed at what 100 years can do when her lifestyle versus what we do now. It's
Definitely.
Just so different.
And both of these are part of your book club conversation. So
yes.
Since they're both not too long to digest, you might get and read both of them.
Yeah, there are not that many copies of this in libraries in North Carolina. So I've ganged up on them, and I've got them here, and we're trading around.
Oh yeah.
So if somebody wants to read both, or make a choice, whatever you want. But this is what we're going to talk about on February the 18th, 4 o'clock, downstairs in the meeting room.
Is it the 18th, the third Tuesday?
Third Tuesday.
Okay, good. I had the wrong date. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, that's okay. All
okay,
right.
So we're going down the list chronologically about the happenings of what to read.
Yes.
And things to happen, not just to read, but in our children's department, February 1st, you may not be aware of, is Take Your Child to the Library Day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so bring your children into the library, grab a bag, and pick up a free book. We've got some little library bags. Yeah, it's the same Saturday as the John Adams miniseries. There's a lot going on that Saturday.
Yeah, there's poetry going on at the Heritage Museum.
Right. We are partnering with our Heritage Museum to feature Rodney Graham and his friends. They're going to be sharing some African American poetry by poets such as Langston Hughes and Maya Angelou.
And Paul Lawrence Dunbar.
Maybe Nikki Giovanni.
Oh, yeah. Nikki's
She's
a favorite.
So there'll be some good poems to hit this the speakers. Well, hit the speakers.
Yeah.
Proclaiming poetry. You got to hear it out loud. You just don't read it in a book because poetry comes alive when you read it, of course.
Yes.
That's at 2 o'clock. You might be able to come see your kids at the library, stop and do a little bit of John Adams miniseries, and then go hear some poetry a full day. Or pick one of the things to head off to do, because there's a lot going on to start off the month. February 1st, this Saturday. I can't believe it. I can't believe January's flew by so fast. And as Marlon, you mentioned too that this whole month is Love Your Library Month. We have a special open house day in store where we're going to have some swag to give away. We'll have some updates to share. Hopefully the renovation will be kicking on in soon, and we can let you in on what's happening with it. But drop by February 20th for our open house.
Yeah, okay.
And here's the last thing. Do you remember this? We had it last year. Pokemon
Oh.
Day. Okay, you weren't. I was in here, so you have to tell what happened.
No, very popular.
Well, last year we had Pokemon Day, and I hear that it was so popular we're going to have Pokemon Week. Okay, tell us about that.
Well, I'm not exactly sure what's going to go on, but you're doing a scavenger hunt, yeah, and all kinds of things related to Pokemon and the game, the cards, all the above.
These little characters.
Yeah, and you know there were a little Pokemon came in the library out at Trap Hill the other day. He had on his yellow hoodie, and when he put his hood up, there's Pokemon ears sticking up. So anyway,
They love that.
it's still, and you know what? Original Pokemon fans are aging.
That's right. My grandson, I remember he's turning
teenagers.
21 this year, but I remember
Loved
him
it.
being wrapped up in Pokemon when he was younger. So it's been around a while. It's
So
gaining
you're welcome.
popularity.
Please
All
join
ages,
us.
all ages.
Okay, the dates for that are the last week of the month.
Right.
So,
February
so-
24th to the 28th. I
Yeah.
mean, it's all week long, this celebration with
Yeah.
Pokemon. Just come and find out about it if you don't know what it is.
yeah, we have calendars. Stop in and see us sometime, okay? And I know we've had a lot of folks come in because we've had that weather we've been having. It's kind of chilly, but in the wintertime you curl up with a book inside. In the summertime you curl up with a book outside somewhere. Just don't drop it in the lake, okay? Just don't drop your book in the lake. You know,
Hey, I
and
just
we're
remembered
okay.
another thing for Black History Month.
What's that?
The films. We have a double feature.
Oh yes, that's the 15th.
That's the third Saturday, okay? Every Saturday there's
Yeah.
something happening,
Yeah.
but the third Saturday, the 15th, day after Valentine's, we've got a double feature.
Yeah.
We'll be showing a film in the morning on Martin Luther King.
I think it starts at noon.
Oh, is it noon?
Okay, one is Selma.
Selma? Okay.
The first one is Selma, and then that movie that came out a couple of years ago about Emmett Till. And it's focused on his mother and what all she was trying to get justice.
Definitely.
I mean, and that's what Mother Fletcher's trying to do, trying to get justice.
Yeah, there
And I
was
tell
a
you
lot of
what-
injustice
Yes.
in our history books, and now that we realize and bring those stories to life so folks can remember and not forget
Yes.
about the struggles and where we are today, just, all
Yeah.
working together.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
It is a lot. But anyway, we hope to see you in the month of February. Stop in, and we'd love to. So,
Yeah, join us for all of these programs
we-
in the main library and at the branch, too.
yeah, we're making this stuff happen because we want to see you.
Definitely.
So, thank you.
Thank you.